Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, what can you say? Genuinely, what can you say? I'm at an absolute loss for words. So Carlos Alcaraz just dominated, absolutely dominated Tommy Paul. 6-love, 6-1, 6-4. I thought for a moment he was going to go for the famed triple bagel, but then Tommy got him at the beginning of the second set. But that was just pure and utter domination by Carlos Alcaraz, who, I've been saying this for about a year now. If Nadal is the king of clay, Carlos is the prince of clay. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they're both Spanish, but Carlos Alcaraz is just in a league of his own on this surface. Quite frankly, him and Sinner are just in a league of their own to everybody else currently in the sport. But Carlos is just unbelievable on this surface. And I'll be honest, like many of you probably, I haven't been that impressed with Carlos so far in the French Open. I mean, he dropped a set to Marozsan, one to Jumer, and then one set to Ben Shelton. And it just felt like he allowed his opponents to get back into these matches. Not that he was never not in control, but it's like, you're allowing this to be a closer match than it should be. So I thought, okay, Tommy Paul, at least ranking-wise, is better than all those guys. He's far better than Marozsan and Jumer. I guess I would put him a little bit ahead of Ben Shelton. If I had to pick one, I'd put Tommy Paul ahead of him. Ben Shelton always has a chance just because he has an insanely strong serve. But he's like, Carlos, if you're struggling against these guys and you're playing with somebody who is better, I wouldn't put it past anybody if this would be a 5-setter. If this would be a match that takes up a little while, if this lasts up until, 11 p.m. at night, French time, a little late or whatever. Alcaraz dispatched Tommy Paul in 94 minutes. Mind you, that is the same duration that it took Jannik Sinner to beat. Who did Jannik Sinner play that was 94 minutes? Was it Lehechka? Yeah, Lehechka. He played in 94 minutes. Absolutely pieced him up. I think it was 6-love, 6-1, 6-2. Like, complete domination, not even close. This may have been even worse than that. Carlos couldn't miss on his serve. His serve was working so well today. It was absolutely phenomenal. And, Tommy messed himself up a little bit. I believe there was 6 deuces in game 2, so that was when it got a little bit closer. When Carlos got that first deuce, you just knew that he had that set wrapped up. And, the second set, like maybe one game where he was a bit of a slip up and then just ran through that. Third set was a bit closer, as you expect, usually in a best 3 out of 5. Because at that moment, the better player maybe starts to fatigue a little bit, doesn't take as many risks. You take a lot more risks in the beginning. And we know Carlos is the best shot maker in tennis right now. He makes more, oh my God, plays than anybody currently playing tennis. But I really just did not see that happening. I mean, insane forehands, his ability to slide on clay, the fact that he goes for balls that almost no other player in the world would go for. They're even told, like, look, don't go for that because it is more likely that you get injured than you get that ball. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go for it anyway. Boop, lob it up into the air. 10% of the time, it causes opponents to make some dumb slip up. And another, 15% he makes an epic shot that will be played on SportsCenter for, days to come after that. We all saw in his match against Ben Shelton where he threw his racket. And it was a point. It was going to be a point for him. If Carlos didn't concede the point, that was going to be a point for him. So, I mean, just what can you say about him? And like I said, him and Sinner are just in a class of their own. But on this surface, like I said, Carlos Alcaraz is the prince of clay. After the big 3 kind of had their run or whatever, it was a conversation. Who's going to be the next guy to potentially do the calendar year Grand Slam, win all 4 majors in 1 year? And I said, and I still believe that Sinner is the better hardcourt player, hence the 2 Australian Opens and the 1 U.S. Open. Carlos did win a U.S. Open in 2022, but that was kind of an odd year after COVID. Djokovic wasn't there, so you think that. But hardcourts, you probably favor Sinner, but clay and grass, there's nobody in the world that I would pick over Carlos Alcaraz, and it's not even particularly close. So I expect him to do the Channel Slam one more time again this year and win this tournament as well as Wimbledon. He already obviously won the Italian Open. He pulled out of Madrid. If he didn't pull out of that tournament, he probably would have been favored then. And yeah, in the semifinals, he go up against Lorenzo Musetti, who played a great match against Francis Tiafoe. That was a very entertaining match this afternoon this morning in America. So I look greatly forward to seeing that. Musetti is so entertaining. Guys who have that one-handed backhand are just so entertaining because it just reminds you of remnants of Federer, because most guys can't do the one-hit backhand, but Federer was able to do it like crazy. So Musetti and Alcaraz will be heavily entertaining, and we still got two more matchups. Sinner is about to play. Who does Sinner play again? I don't even know. Whoever it is, he's going to piece him up. And then obviously Djokovic and Zverev will be a great matchup. Definitely look forward to that one for sure. Bublik, that's who. Bublik, who obviously beat Jack Draper in a very good match himself. Bublik served incredibly well. So that was highly entertaining. But I mean, just Carlos Alcaraz, I don't even know what to say. For him to look like the way he did the last three matches, and then just completely put it all together, and especially in the first two sets, play perfect tennis, genuinely fantastic tennis. I mean, he is such a pleasure to watch, as talented of a player as I've seen in my lifetime. He's up there with obviously Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic for just the most talented and the most joyful to watch, and the one where you say, when he's on the screen, turn on the screen, because he's going to produce something that's, oh my God. So like I said, I look forward to his next matchup, and let's see if he can potentially meet either Djokovic or Sinner or Zverev. You'd want it to be either Djokovic or Sinner, realistically. He already beat Zverev in the final last year, and if they match up again in Roland-Garros final, we're all going to pick Alcaraz, I believe, to win that. So hopefully it's Djokovic or Sinner that he plays against in the final, because Carlos Alcaraz, I mean, this guy, what can you say? What can you say?